Welcome to North Country Commerce, a business and community service of the Plattsburgh North Country Chamber of Commerce. I'm Gary Douglas, president of the Chamber, and every couple of weeks we try to bring you a new episode of this program looking at a whole assortment of things, sometimes things that are happening with the economy in the North Country, projects of importance, we've done some company tours, and then every once in a while we'd like to spotlight some business and community services that the Chamber is involved in and that we believe a lot of you out there should certainly want to take full advantage of, and so we're here to make sure you know so you can take advantage of us. We like to be taken advantage of, don't we?
Yes, we do.
And what we're going to spotlight on this episode is Business Expo 2000. It's pretty big, isn't it, Jody?
It's very big. It's amazingly big, actually, especially for an area the size of the area that we live in. But
how big is it?
it is so big. Actually, we have 170 booths now, which is pretty amazing. And
there's people and things at these booths,
there are
too.
actually people in the booths, and there are actually people walking around among the booths. So when you add that all up, we pretty much filled the gym at the SUNY Fieldhouse.
Well, we have with us here, you just heard from our good friend Jody Parks here at the Chamber, who is the staff person here at the Chamber responsible for Business Expo, and you've seen her many times on this show. Expo is also organized every year as a volunteer effort. We have a lot of dedicated volunteers in the Chamber who work on it and help sell those booths and have made it really the success story that it is. And I suggest it's an even greater success story because unlike some business shows that you'll see elsewhere where some professional promoters come into town and they put the show together and charge a lot of money to do it, what we have here in the North Country is just as good, if not a better show, put on as the result of grassroots volunteer efforts by a number of our business people. And that makes it something we can all be proud of. We produce it, we put it on, it's our show. It isn't something that somebody from outside comes in and does for us. And we have two of those committee members with us, the longtime chair of the Business Expo Committee, Larry Criff of Criff Furniture in Plattsburgh and Malone. Welcome, Larry.
Thank you.
And Bob Perkins from NYSEG, also a longtime member of the committee. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you, Gary.
Now, let's start with a few basics. Business Expo 2000, where and when is this?
It is at the SUNY Plattsburgh Fieldhouse in the gym, and it is on Thursday, May 18th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Now, it costs a lot of money to get in this. Should people bring their wallets
A
and
whole
credit cards?
lot of money. Bring your wallets. No, actually, it's free to get in.
It's free. No charge at all. Absolutely free.
No charge at all. And in fact, when you do come in, we're going to have you register to win $1,000. So you're going to get in for free. You may walk away with $1,000.
We're actually going to pay some people to be there.
Yeah, we are.
How do we do that?
Very easily.
Probably those sponsors, isn't it?
The sponsors actually do a great job. We have 5 main sponsors. We've got WPTZ, the Press Republican, Stafford Trombley, Owens and Curtin, and Twin State Voice Data Video, as well as Park. Those are our 5 main sponsors, and they really do a lot to help us put this show together. They're a great support group for the show, and we couldn't do it without them. We also actually have 2 coffee sponsors who are Champlain National Bank and National Life, and they will be giving free coffee. Anybody who wants coffee all day long, come on in.
And donuts.
Donuts in the morning. And if you want to come over for lunch and grab a bite to eat and have some free coffee, you're more than welcome to do that. Take a look at some of the booths. So those sponsors really do help us out a lot.
So they don't have to pay to get in. They maybe leave with money, and they get coffee and donuts.
It's quite a bargain.
Wow.
You're not going to find anything like that.
Wow. Can we do this every day?
No.
So it's just one day every year.
It is one day every year.
So if they miss it on May 18th, there's no...
It's not going to
it's not
happen
gonna
again
happen
until
again for a
next
whole year.
May. And it will definitely happen next May, but that's a long time to wait for that cup of coffee. So you're going to want to come down and get that.
And it's not just the coffee. The coffee's just going to help keep them alert to take in everything that's going on there. Larry, you've been involved for a long time and seen this show grow. Way back in its first year, it had about how many booths compared to where it's grown to today?
I think the first year, in 1988, there were 59 booths, and we struggled to get to 59. It was a volunteer committee, and we just called everybody we knew, and we said I remember being at the first committee meeting where it was an offshoot of the Small Business Committee at the time, and somebody said, well, let's try and have a trade show for business-to-business networking. And we thought for a while, and we said, okay, we'll do it, and we just started calling all the businesses around, and we ended up with 59, and that comprised our first show, and it filled up about half of the field house.
And then it's just grown every
It's
single
grown
year.
every single year, I believe, up until we just about maxed out the field house a couple of years ago, and that's about all we
Never
can-
seem to have maxed it out, though. We always seem, Jody always seems
We
to
can-
find
we can always
find a
squeeze
couple of
another one in.
additional corners
I'm
every
going to be
year.
building a second story soon.
Now, you mentioned business-to-business show. I think that's important for folks to understand. This is not a home show or a travel show or an outdoor show or some of those other kinds of expos that folks out there may be used to. Would you describe what business-to-business means and who therefore really should be the folks thinking about coming to this?
It's really designed for somebody who wants to increase their business in this area, because it's the best opportunity you're going to have all year to get as many business people in one spot as there is in the North Country. And anybody who wants to increase their business or increase their presence in our area is going to find the best opportunity right there that day. And that's always been the focus of how we've grown, is the people here year after year, that so many people are there. And that's why I think we've been able to increase the booth exhibitors, and we're trying to make it more interesting every year so that we can keep more and more people coming as visitors. Sometimes if you can't be an exhibitor, you can be a visitor, and with everybody that's there, the networking opportunity is just great.
Let's touch on that, Bob. There's a lot of reasons to come to Business Expo. One, as Larry just mentioned, is you're going to find 170 booths of business products and services all in one place at one time. That's a pretty efficient opportunity, isn't it?
It really is. I think if you look at from the standpoint of Joni mentioning 170 businesses being there, there's really no better opportunity to network with the other businesses in the community than at the Business Expo. And I think that's why we have a lot of the success from year to year. A lot of the same businesses are back. It is the best opportunity to network with other businesses. And I think for new businesses moving into the area, we find that many of them want to be there and need to be there, because it is their opportunity to basically introduce themselves to the rest of the business community.
Now, over the course of the day, we'll probably have, about 2,000 business people we expect?
Yes, we expect at least 2,000 to attend the show this year, which again, from a networking standpoint, for these businesses to be touching base with other business people, because it's not a trade show, it basically is a business show. So there's 2,000 key business leaders from the North Country, not just from Plattsburgh, from the North Country attending this show. It's a great opportunity.
Now, one of the things I know I've always liked about the show is compared with the way some of the others are set up, without naming them, is that we have maintained, rather than perhaps renting more booths, we have maintained a networking area in the center where people can go and sit down and actually do business that day.
And I think that is key. I think if you look at the success of our show, it's basically come from the background of our committee. You know, we've looked at putting people with some good business background on the committee. We always have 2 or 3 members of the committee that have a strong marketing background, and other members that have a strong media presence. Together, that group, I think, has put together an excellent show for us. And I think it shows. That's why we're so successful year after year. It's got a lot to do with the makeup of that committee. We've been very, very fortunate.
It's true.
Jody, we can't run through all of them, but give a sense of some of the variety of kinds of products and services folks will find on display that day.
Actually, just about anything you can imagine. All of the banks will be there, all of the insurance people will be there, a lot of the printers will be there, the new technology, the internet services, the regional portals, things like that. Those people will be there, which is interesting because you can actually talk to a person. A lot of times now we're calling people and you're getting a press 9 for this, press 3 for this, and you never get to talk to a person. Well, at the Business Expo, you can walk up and say, my computer broke, what happened to it? And you can really get some information that you might not be able to get on the phone or if you're sending mail. We have the Inn of 6 Mountains, which is a resort out of Killington that's going to be there. So if people are looking at, planning a little mini retreat, it can be for personal use or for corporate use, actually. They will have information there about that. Advertising people, anything you would need in business, and actually a lot of things you will need in your personal life are all going to be there. There's a new chamber member, Do More Designs, and this lady actually travels all around the world talking about interior decorating and showing people how to do it. She's going to be there. So whether you're looking for new things for your office or for your home, you can talk to her and she'll give you some information. It's just amazing the broad range that the Business Expo covers. And I think if people go there, they're going to be truly amazed. Everybody that I've talked to that says, oh, I've heard about that, and then they actually go to it, they call me the next day, I can't believe it. Why didn't you tell me how great it was? And I said, I did. But it really does cover a broad range. So whether you're looking for things for your home or for your business, you're going to find a lot of new services out there. Also, the services that you may already have, but they're new and improved, a lot of the copying machines and things like that, and you've been using the same one forever. At the Business Expo, you can actually go try one here and then go a couple booths down and try the other guys and see how they work in comparison. As far as comparison shopping, the Expo is definitely the place to be. If you're looking for a bid on printing something, and you can go talk to Northeast Printing and then go right across the street and talk to Creative Labels of Vermont and ask them, you know, what can you do for me? That's what they're there for. They're there to give you that information. People should definitely take advantage of it, because you could spend hours and hours and hours on the phone, or your secretary could, or your administrative assistant, or whomever you've got in your office looking for services, ways to save you money. You could spend hours on the phone looking for those things, and you could go to the expo and do it really quickly and see everything that there is out there and know you haven't missed anything.
In fact, let's think of it this way. What are the chances that any business person could come to Expo and leave without finding at least one product or service they didn't know about before they came?
I don't think that's possible, because there are so many things out there, and even though, like I said earlier, something you may already have, you don't know about all of the new opportunities until you see it. And a lot of times we're so busy with our everyday lives and our work days. If people call us and say, I've got this great new local telephone service for you, and you think, okay, some other day, and you put it off because you get so busy. But if you can take a few minutes at the Business Expo to talk to them, you may really find a way to save yourself a lot of money. And it's so easy to do, because once again, it's that face-to-face interaction, and you can really ask questions and find out what these people have to offer.
Larry, we talked generally about people interested in business, and obviously it's government, organizations, churches, anybody out there that has business type operations. It's not just what we think of as businesses, so keep that in mind. But many companies and businesses may have come to Expo in the past, but maybe just the manager comes or just one person comes. They really ought to be thinking about rotating more than that through there over the course of the day, shouldn't they?
Yeah, they really should, both as visitors and as exhibitors. Many members of your staff can gain insight into what's available in the community. Normally, during the course of your workday, you may not think of all the things that you need as a business person, but your staff people can, and if they go, they get the exposure to everything that's available here too.
So probably your manager or owner certainly, but probably also your human resource manager. They're going to be interested in employee benefit kinds of programs. If you have a purchasing person, there's all kinds of procurement opportunities that they may find there. Your office managers are perhaps going to get something very different out of it and make some different kinds of contacts. Think about rotating your people. Schedule it out. The show goes on for a number of hours, so you don't have to have everybody leave the place at one time. And in fact, some of them could even go and have lunch there, couldn't they?
Mm-hmm. There is lunch being served at the expo, so somebody could go there during their lunch hour and grab a bite to eat and wander around through the booths, and that would work fine. And also, there is so much for everybody to see. You really need to rotate everybody through, and if you can't close the office for the day, which actually you might want to think about doing, because everybody's going to be at the Business Expo anyway. But if you can't do that, leave a few people in the office and send other people out, and then when they come back, they can switch off. It'll be something really neat for your employees to see when they can have their eyes open to everything that's going on out there. A lot of times, with simple things like customer service, people don't realize they get in a routine of of doing things over and over again the same way. They don't realize there are different ways to do it out there, and they can go to the Business Expo, and just by being exposed to all of those businesses and really seeing what we have to offer in this business community, I think it can really open their eyes and make them think about how they do their own things, the way they answer the phone, the way they greet people. They're going to meet all these people at the expo, and they're going to say, oh, you know, that guy, he just walked right up and shook my hand. He made me feel so comfortable, and that might be something that they take back to the office with them. So it's definitely beneficial to everybody.
That's a good point. I think from the standpoint, not only is there an opportunity to showcase your business and your product, it also gives you a good opportunity to find out what your competitors are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a great advantage of having a number of different individuals from the office going to the Business Expo, because they can see what all their competitors are doing and they can learn from their competition. I think that's a key factor for the Business Expo.
Okay, Bob, so somebody's coming to the show. How should they be prepared to take maximum advantage and be ready to get all they can out of it when they come?
Well, I think they should, one, if you're at the show and you have a booth there, make sure you bring your business cards, because that's a key factor of distributing your business cards to everyone that you're networking with. And I think also make sure that you're prepared to take down the information. Anybody who shows an interest all in coming to your booth, follow-up is going to be key with a successful show. And it's nice to be there and to showcase your product, but you want to gain business. That's the main reason for being at the Business Expo. And one of the keys is making sure you follow up on your contacts.
That's right.
I think that's critical.
Jody, there's always a couple of seminars that go on. Are we doing that again this year?
We are doing that again this year. We have the first one in the morning is actually a half-day seminar, and that's from about 8:15 to 1:30. And that is called Conquer the U.S. in a Day, and that is meant for Canadian business owners who are planning on opening a business in New York State, and we will hook them up with all of the professionals that they would need to talk to, whether it's customs people or insurance people or bankers or storage people, whatever it is that they need. And actually, that seminar is good for people in a lot of different areas, whether they've already started the process of getting their business moved toward this area, or they're just thinking about it and they're wondering, where do I begin? It's a small enough group that they can really have their questions answered. They do get networking time to talk to the speakers, so they will be able to really question them and find out what it is they need to do.
And then at the end of that goes on in the morning, and at noontime, those folks hit the floor.
Yes, they do. So all of the Canadian people who are going to be doing business in the U.S. soon will be on the expo floor. So that's a great thing for our exhibitors as well. A lot of them, I know some people have sold $10,000 worth of office furniture because that guy happened to be there that day and he wanted to set up a whole new office in Plattsburgh, and he did that. So it worked out really well.
There are some companies here in this area that came to that seminar that are now here employing people and functioning here. The most recent one is Integral Fabrications, which is in the Air Industrial Park in Plattsburgh. They came to that seminar a couple of years ago. Now they're here. So there are going to be some significant business contacts just from running into those people at the show during the day.
And all of those people, if you think about it, if they are opening an office here, they're starting from scratch. So they need a realtor to find them an office to be in, and they need somebody who has office furniture to get them set up, and they need a printer, and they need signs, and they need office supplies, and they need everything, really. So those people are great to have on our Business Expo floor, and they will be there.
Now, what about people that are out there that may be thinking of starting a business? Are we doing anything for them? Hint, hint?
We definitely are. Actually, the Chamber teams up with our SCORE group and the Small Business Association and the SBDC, the Small Business Development, and they all get together and they have a seminar for anybody who's interested in starting a business. Now, this may be people who just think, I've got this great idea, how would I do it? Or I've got a business plan and I've got some money and I'm ready to start now, but I need a little bit more information. This is for anybody in that range. So if you're thinking about starting a new business, definitely come to this seminar. It's from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And once again, it'll be a small enough group that you'll be able to ask very specific questions. You know, that's great general information, but how does this help me personally? And actually, after that, we can even hook you up with a SCORE counselor who would meet with you later and continue the education process, basically, and help you out if you're having specific questions about or specific challenges about certain things, they can help you out that way. So if you're interested in starting a new business, you have a great idea, or maybe you're thinking, a year from now I want to be moving in that direction, what sort of steps should I be taking, or what things should I be thinking about if I want to start my own business, definitely go to that seminar. Free, absolutely free. Just show up at the expo. It's going to be in the Ice Arena area, and be there at 3 o'clock, and we'll get you started.
Larry, tell me what do you think is the most important thing about Expo in terms of the North Country? Why is it an important event to the North Country as opposed to just kind of another one of those events?
Well, I think mainly it's a really serious day for the exhibitors, especially. They go to a lot of trouble to provide an exhibit that can really showcase their business to people who don't know their business. The exhibits have gotten incredibly elaborate compared with the way they were for the first few years. They seem to get better and better every year. They invest a lot of time and money, and I think the area, people in the area know this, and they know that they're going to be treated to a good show when they come here. It's very well run and very sophisticated as far as trade shows go, and it really is a serious day for buyers and sellers, and I think that's why it has become so important. We have a lot of great social events, and we have a lot of events geared to government. This is an event geared to business people, and it's designed to help them actually do business that day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a serious day in the year, and people should really be counting on that, and I think a lot of people do count on that every year to be a source of prospects for the year coming up afterward.
Mm-hmm. Now, Bob, it's also a great showcase for the North Country, too, isn't it?
It really is. You know, it's an event that takes place once a year that brings all the businesses together. And I think Larry's right. It is a very serious show, but it's also an opportunity to rekindle business relationships that you may only see some of these individuals once a year at this show. And I know as a business person, I like to do business with people I know. And I think that's a key factor with the Business Expo, is to get to know people, let them know who you are. And it is a very serious show, but it's also fun. I mean, I enjoy the Business Expo because it is an opportunity to rekindle a lot of those, not only business relationships, but friendships. And that's why I really look forward to it.
That's actually a good point, too, because you are getting to meet people face to face. So if you do send your office managers and your receptionists, those people who are usually answering the phones, they're the first line of defense when somebody calls your business, those people are the ones who never get to really see these people. The owners of the businesses may be going to a few meetings, or they're on committees, or they're on boards, or whatever it is, so they see a lot of the other business players all the time. The office staff may never see them at all. So if you can send them to the Business Expo, they can meet them all in one day. It's really easy that way.
Very efficient.
But it is true, because people call. I mean, every time you call Quick Furniture, a very nice person named Stacy answers, but has anybody ever met her face to face unless they've gone in? So at the Business Expo, you get to see these people face to face, and it's a really nice way to do business.
I always find one of the most impressive things about the show is just the variety and the depth of companies and employers and service providers we have here in this region. And it really strikes you when you go out on that floor and you see 170 booths, and you walk around and you see you see the technologies, and you see multiple providers of things rather than just one, and it really gives you an appreciation for the quality and extent of the business community here in the region that I think would surprise a lot of people. If they haven't been to Expo before, they're going to leave and say, wow, I didn't think this business community up here was this big or had this many services to all be here in one place at one time. So it makes a lasting impression.
Yes, it does.
The contest you referred to, talk a little bit more about that.
Well, it's a big secret right now. We haven't decided what the game is yet, but we will have by the time we get to the expo. Last year we actually had a dart game, which was a lot of fun for everybody. We made it very easy, but it was something just to add to the excitement of the expo. Everybody who comes to the expo will be invited to play whatever game it is that we come up with, and you don't have to practice ahead of time. Don't worry, we'll make it easy enough for you. But everybody who succeeds at this game, which everyone will be entered to win a $1,000 cash giveaway. We'll do that drawing at 5:30, and somebody's going to walk out of that expo with $1,000. So that's always a nice bonus for people.
I know that as we sit here and tape this, and this isn't going to be seen for a few days until after we tape this, we're down to just a couple of booths left. But in the event that by the time this is on, there maybe still are a couple of booths left, and somebody out there wants to take one last shot to see if there's still a chance to get into the show, what should they do?
They should call me at the Chamber of Commerce, 563-1000, and if there's any space I can squeeze you in anywhere, I will do my best to squeeze you in. We do have a couple networking areas that I could sort of move to another area. So if you really want to get in, let me know. Booths are $325 if you are a chamber member and $425 if you're not yet a chamber member. So just give me a call and we'll try to get you in and see what we can do.
Wow, $325. You get to be part of the largest business show north of Albany. You get to see 2,000 business people.
Yep.
Sounds like a bargain.
It's amazing advertising opportunity for that much money. It's just, you can't even imagine what that's going to do for your business. And it's only $325.
Wow.
So it's only once a year, so if you want to do it, call me quickly.
So there you have it, Business Expo 2000, bigger and better than ever. Every year we think it isn't possible to make it bigger and better, but every year it gets bigger and better, and it will be again this year. Once again, date, time, place.
May 18th, SUNY Fieldhouse, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And the cost.
Is absolutely free to get in. If you want a booth, it's $325 for chamber members, $425 for non-members.
So be sure and come. If you have any questions ahead of time at all about the show, who's going to be there, what's going to be there, if you want to check out that How to Start a Business seminar, find out more about that. If you want to talk about a possible booth, whatever, give us a call, 563-1000. We'd be happy to talk with you, and then be even happier to see you at Business Expo on May 18th. And as always, thank you for watching North Country Commerce.